The Cyberwise Guide to Glogster. It's tough keeping kids engaged today. They're used to communicating and multitasking on computers and smartphones and netbooks and more. Even teachers are distracted with all these new gadgets. So when it comes to creating classroom projects, asking young people to use these tools that result in static posters like this might be considered a bit, well, boring. Fortunately, today there's a whole new way to erase, paste, and cut. It's called Glogster EDU. So what is a glog? Well, take the GN graphic and add it to the log in blog, and you've got glog, short for a graphical blog. A glog replaces the old-fashioned poster with an interactive multimedia image that lets the 21st century student interact with its content. With Glogster, students and educators create posters that integrate graphics, text, images, video, and sound. This lets students create and present their work across several mediums. For example, in this project on California missions, students work together to integrate text, visuals, and sounds to illustrate the topic. They also uploaded images of their handmade projects, showing off their work to parents and teachers who could access the project online by going to the Glogster link. So stop being boring and help your students integrate traditional projects with 21st century tools like Glogster. It's online, it's free, and best of all, it's easy to use. To be cyberwise about how and why Glogster will work for you, go to our website to download your copy of the Cyberwise Guide to Glogster.
There are two different varieties of Glogster. We have www.glogstre.com, that's their public interface. Unfortunately, this tool is often blocked from many schools, including Jeffco schools. So Glogster has an educational version too at edu.glogstre.com, which is not blocked at most schools. The best way to sign into EduGlogster is with a Google account. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. I'm going to use a personal Gmail account because I've already used my jjohnson@jeffcoschools.us Gmail. So I'll go ahead and use this account so I can sign up again, and you do need to pick a nickname. Agree to the terms of use and select your country. When you're done, click sign up, and I now have my free Glogster EDU teacher account. This is my Glogster dashboard. There's always a link across the top where I can return to my dashboard. It shows my existing glogs, so I did pause the video and make just a practice glog so you could see where your existing glogs will appear. And there is an edit button right here, so you can go back in and make changes to your glog. I'm going to use the green Create New Glog button. This will bring up a variety of templates I can use to get me started. I think I will just use a blank template and start from scratch. Even though I selected blank, Glogster preloads the template with a variety of callouts and a graphic here so I can see what items look like on the glog. To get rid of these if they don't go well with my project, I can select the item and hit the trash button, or I can select the item and hit the delete button on my keyboard. So now I have a blank canvas, and you can think of Glogster as a virtual poster board. So as I scroll up and down, I can see this is all the room that I have to present all of my information. The Glogster tools are across the top, and I can hide the tools by selecting the X, and I can bring them back by choosing the Tools button. I think I'll start by choosing my wall or background. If I had uploaded any media, I could use any of those pictures as my background for this glog, or I could upload one right now. If I go into their gallery, I will see many choices for me to use, and they have these categorized in folders, so I can go into the Cute folder and open it and see a variety of backgrounds. And I can use the scroll bar at the bottom to move my way through many choices for glog backgrounds. I'm going to go back to all folders because none of those would be really great for one about tornadoes. And I think I'll go with something a little bit more formal. Let's try the Papers folder and see if we see just a nice background in this folder. To see what a background looks like, I can select its thumbnail. I get a slightly larger preview, but if I use the Use It button, I can see it applied to my entire glog. And if I didn't like it, I can choose another one and repeat this process until I have a background that I like. We'll use that one for the sake of this demo. To add text to your glog, you use the text button. This will bring up a variety of word balloons, or you can type text directly on the background if you don't want a word balloon around it. Again, these are categorized by topic. If you find one that you like, you can drag it directly into your glog by clicking and dragging. Or you can select an item, see the preview of it, and use the Use It button. To minimize your tools, you can use the triangle, and then you can move your text boxes around. And you can resize these, of course, as well. And you can use the anchors on the edges to pivot the angle that the text appears. To edit the text, you can double click on it and type in your information. As I type, you can see a scroll bar is built into my text box. So even though the amount of information I want to put inside this word balloon exceeds its size, I will be able to scroll through it. So I can use this word balloon to add a lot of text to my glog without taking up a lot of space. When you're done editing, you can just click outside your text to get back to the area where you can rotate the text. And to quickly edit again, I can use the AB1, and I can use the slider to change the size of the text, or its color, or its style. If I select a text box, I'll see some other options along the left side of the text box and across the top. We've seen delete. We can lock the item in place so that we don't goof it up as we are editing, and selecting the lock again will unlock it. And I can change the order of items, so if I needed to send it to the back or bring it to the front, I have a variety of options here for ordering. Clicking on the eyedropper will bring up an option for me to change the color of the text box itself. So instead of being black, I could change that to blue. I can also hyperlink the text to perhaps a website with more information. And I'm directed to highlight the text, which is highlighted, and add in a web address. And the magic wand down at the bottom brings me to some additional effects that I can alter. And you can experiment with those and get it just the way you like it. When you're done, you just close the box that pops up. So that's text boxes, which are a great way to add information to your project without taking up a lot of room, because again, it will build in those nice scroll bars when you go to preview your glog. And if you want to see what your glog is going to look like to others, there's a preview button right here. If I select preview, then I'm able to scroll through it and see if I need to resize my box or add additional boxes or edit my text. When I'm done previewing, I can go back to edit mode using the button right here. I'm going to bring back my tools. In addition to text, I might want to add some graphics to my glog. Think of graphics as similar to clip art, built-in items that Glogster already has for us to use. Some of these are animated and they are noted with a message beneath them. So if I select this arrow and preview it, it'll show me what it does. And if I choose use it and minimize my tools, I can use something like this to call attention to certain items on my glog. Something you do need to know about these animated items is that they stay animated the entire time your glog is being viewed by others. So they are a good idea in theory, but sometimes they do get a little bit annoying, and an arrow that stays in one spot might be just as effective as this one that keeps going back and forth and back and forth. So I'm going to delete this graphic and choose one that is not animated, and I will use a non-animated arrow. I don't use clip art a lot because I find I'd rather upload my own pictures or use images that I have found on the web. And to do that, you go to the image button on the toolbar. If I had already uploaded some other media and used it in other projects, it would all be located here. I can use the upload button to select media from my computer. So again, let's say I'm going to do a project on tornadoes, and here's some radar that indicates a tornado forming. So I can select that image, choose the open button, and wait for my media to upload. It will say processing file, and a lot of times it will seem to take a really long time for my uploaded images to appear. So I will go into another area of the toolbar. I'll go work on some text, look for some graphics, and when I come back to my images area, typically my image is done processing and has magically appeared. So don't wait endlessly for it to appear. Just move on to another area, and then when you come back, your picture will probably be there. There are other ways to find images, so let me show you a couple of options. If I go back to images, I have the ability to search Google Images right here. So if I search for tornado, there's some great images pulled up right from Google Images, and I can just drag these right into my wall. Just as with text, if you select a picture, you can drag it to where you'd like it to be in the glog, you can resize it, and you can rotate it. So we've added text and images. Let's explore what is in the page area of the toolbar. The page area of a glog is what is behind the background that you have selected, and this will be most obvious if I change the color of the existing page from white to something else. So I'll go with a solid color. But as soon as I use it, you'll see that this area behind the glog paper I'm working on is considered the page. And it defaults typically to white, but if you would like a different color behind your glog or as the background, you may certainly use that. Or again, there are gallery images, or you can upload your own image to use for your page. Let's explore the audio and video buttons now on our toolbar. So for audio, I can upload an MP3 file from my computer. Again, I've selected for this item to be uploaded and it doesn't look like anything is happening. So I'll go to another tab on my toolbar, and when I come back to audio, and it did actually take a couple of minutes, but eventually my audio file appeared in my audio portion of my Glogster tools. If I select the song that I have uploaded and choose use it, this default play button will come into my glog, and when I go back to preview mode, someone can click this play button and they will hear that song appear. If I don't like this play button, I can use the players option here to bring up some additional types of music indicators. And once I'm happy with the player that I've chosen, I can choose use it. In addition to uploading MP3s, you can also use the grab tool to record directly from your computer microphone. Because I'm recording, I'll skip that option right now, but you'll select grab. It loads an interface. You allow Glogster to access your microphone, and you'll get a very simple record tool where you can record your narration directly into your glog, and you'll be able to select a player just like you did for your MP3 song. Now let's explore the video options. If I select the video tab, I can again upload media files, videos that I have saved to my computer. And if I go into the YouTube options here, I can search for videos on YouTube. They also provide some general categories for YouTube videos. But if you've already located a video that you want to use, which I have on YouTube, you can also copy the address of the video, go back over to Glogster, and search by URL, which will return a thumbnail of the video that I want to use. Select the video and choose use it. Minimize my tools here. You can see that I can pull the video down into a free area of my glog. And when I'm in preview mode, which we'll check in a moment here, I'll be able to play that video. So again, for the video tab, you can search YouTube videos by their URL, or if you hadn't already picked out a video from YouTube, you could search by keyword as well. And I can preview those videos from within Glogster, and if I like them, directly add them to my glog. The Data tab for a glog allows you to attach items, maybe a works cited page that you want to include with your glog, maybe some supporting documentation with data if this was for a lab write-up, and all you need to do is use the upload button and browse to those files. I'm going to go ahead and preview my glog so I can see what it looks like and to test the media that I've embedded. So these are the songs that I have attached. You can see that the song is working well. As is my YouTube video. So it looks good. I'm going to go back into my editing mode simply so that I can save my glog. You're prompted to give your glog a title. Click the save button. And the first time I save my glog, I need to assign a category and a grade level. You can see that my glog defaults to being public. If I don't want it to be public, I can just choose finish or unfinished. Since I'm still working on my glog, I will use unfinished and choose finish saving. This is my glog URL. I can copy the link and use it to send to others. I can send it to my teacher for grading, or I can link it to my website. From here, I can go back to editing, back to viewing, or I can go back to my dashboard, which is where I will go. When I log back into Glogster, I'll see a thumbnail picture of my tornado glog, and when I'm ready to continue editing, I just use the pink edit button. So that's how you use Glogster EDU to create some great multimedia projects.